Happy Pride Month. I've posted one Gaylor podcast episode and people were like, we want more. And I give the people what they want. And it's Pride Month, so it's an excuse to be extra gay. So today I'm going to be ranking every single song on Lover by how gay it is. And I will be doing this with all the albums this Pride Month, so enjoy. The album Lover by Taylor Swift has the blues and the purple pink skies. It has sort of like the bisexual, a little bit of the pansexual flag on the cover. It has Lover written in swooping, sloping cursive letters. It has Taylor with a pink heart on her face. Her hair was dyed the bisexual colors. She really had something to say. And as many of us theorized, you know, she had a failed coming out in this era because her masters were stolen. The masters heist occurred. But Taylor just reclaimed her masters. So are we getting her Sparkling Summer 2.0? One can only hope. Taylor has talked about how the album Lover was originally called Daylight, and we know that she made some changes before Lover was released on August 23rd, 2019, from the songs that were on it before, which were probably much gayer. So this is the gayed down version of Lover, but it's still pretty gay. So let's get into it. Also, my name is Jessie James. I have a podcast called the Popstrology Podcast. I'm an astrologer. If you would like to book a reading with me, you can do so via my website at popstrologypod.com. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at popstrologypod. My TikTok is basically entirely dedicated to Gaylor content, so if this is something that interests you, I would love to see you over there. Lover kicks off with a song called I Forgot That You Existed, which is a fun little bop. It has not very much gay stuff in it. It has this one line, lived in the shade you were throwing till all of my sunshine was gone, gone, gone. We know that Taylor uses shade in her music to represent closeting. She says, shade never made anybody less gay and you need to calm down. And then she specifies in Paris where Taylor says, sit quiet by my side in the shade and not the kind that's thrown. I mean the kind under where a tree has grown. Tree obviously being the name of Taylor Swift's publicist, Tree Payne. And this along with the symbolism in the song Willow, we can sort of take to see as Tree is like her protector, but she keeps her in the shade. She prevents her from coming out into the sunlight and being her authentic self, which is a gay woman. So I Forgot That You Existed is not very overtly gay, but it is very gay to be petty and write a song like this. So I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 boots. The next song is Cruel Summer. The genius descriptions of these songs are so funny because they all are like, this talks about the uncertainty at the beginning of Taylor's relationship with Joe Alwyn. And it's like, no, this song actually talks about a relationship that had to be kept secret. And Taylor and Joe's relationship was literally never secret, but sure. The chorus of Cruel Summer says, it's new, the shape of your body. Gay. What's the shape of a man's body? Rectangle? That's not a new shape to me. It's new, the shape of your body. Every woman's body is different. Every man's body is sort of just like a rectangle. Gay. She then goes on to say, so cut the headlights, summer's a knife, I'm always waiting for you just to cut to the bone. Devils roll the dice, angels roll their eyes. So cut the headlights is imagery where a car is driving, presumably at night with the headlights on, and then you cut the headlights because you don't want to be seen. This song is about a relationship that can't be seen, that can't be out in the open. Once again, Taylor Swift and Joe Alwyn's relationship was never private. It was always out in the open. What could this be about? Gay. Devils roll the dice, angels roll their eyes. Carly Kloss is a Victoria's Secret angel. Put 2 and 2 together. Gay. Who knows the lyrics to this bridge? Prove it. I'm drunk in the back of the car and I cried like a baby coming home from the bar. Oh, said I'm fine, but it wasn't true. I don't want to keep secrets just to keep you. Why would you have to keep a secret if your relationship was not palatable to the general public, if your relationship was going to get you in trouble? Like a relationship with a woman when you are supposed to be dating Joe Alwyn. Gay. And I snuck in through the garden gate every night that summer just to seal my fate. Once again, we have very, very many pictures of Taylor and Carly sneaking in through Carly's garden gate at her apartment in the West Village. So Cruel Summer overall, it's gay. It's gay. It's going to get 5 out of 5 boots. Track 3 is Lover. And Lover gets a little bit of flack for saying we could leave the Christmas lights up till January, which is like a normal thing to do. But this song is sort of like having a relationship where you make all of your own rules. This is a very like queer coded archetype because queer relationships are relationships where we don't abide by standard heteronormative patriarchal standards. We create our own rules from the get-go. Literally, that's the first 2 lines of the song. It's giving gay. Taylor says, there's a dazzling haze, a mysterious way about you, dear. Would you ever say that about a man? Gay. In the second verse, she says, and I'm highly suspicious that everyone who sees you wants you. Once again, do you say this about men? Overall, I would give Lover, I believe, 4 out of 5 boots. And then we move on to track 4, which is The Man, which is just gay, 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 gay. The song is about why are men allowed to get away with everything, and if I do the same things, people call me terrible. Why are men allowed to brag about getting bitches and models, but if I brag about getting bitches and models, because 2016, my whole friend group was Victoria's Secret Angels, and I got Carly Kloss, the hottest model in the whole world, the biggest model in the world at one point, but I'm not allowed to brag about it. Yeah, people are like, no, she's saying if she was a man, then she could get bitches and models. Sorry, Taylor gets bitches and models. Like this is erasure. This is Alpha Dyke erasure. Oh, speaking of the devil. Taylor says in the pre-chorus, I'd be a fearless leader, I'd be an alpha type. When everyone believes you, what's that like? You know what rhymes with like? It's not type. It's the word dyke. I'd be a fearless leader, I'd be an alpha dyke. When everyone believes you, what's that like? And you know Taylor Swift is an alpha dyke. She gets bitches and models. What's it like to brag about it? Taylor, you're going to be able to brag about it soon. I'm so happy for you. I'm really hoping that this is Sparkling Summer 2.0 because she deserves to brag about getting bitches and models. She's so sick of running as fast as she can because if she was the man, she would be able to date women and be loud about it. 5 out of 5 boots. Non-alcoholic white wine. Because Pride Month still needs to happen in style, even for us sober Sallies. Track 5, the most emotional track on each of her albums, is The Archer. I think that The Archer is definitely about her relationship with her fans. I've got 100 thrown out speeches I almost said to you, really referencing like all of the times that she was going to come out and then didn't. And I'm sure there have been more times that she's wanted to come out and even written down something that she wished she could say to her fans and then just didn't say it because Tree advised her not to do it, or her homophobic dad or Scott Borchetta advised her not to do it. And now she's just sitting there and she's like, I've tried to do this so many times. But she also references in Peace when she says, I've never had the courage of my convictions as long as danger's near. Easy they come, easy they go. I jump from the train, I ride off alone. I never grow up, it's getting so old. Help me hold on to you, to the fans. She feels very lonely. She feels very misunderstood. People come to her and people go from her, but she doesn't feel like anyone actually truly loves her for her, especially because as fans, she's not able to be her to us. She has 2 versions of herself. She has pop star Taylor and she has real Taylor. She has maybe even 3 versions of herself. So she's jumping off the train and riding off alone because no one is able to come with her. I wake in the night, I pace like a ghost, the room is on fire, invisible smoke is such a genius way to talk about anxiety. This song is so healing for ADHD girls, anxious people, everyone. I feel it in my very bones. But like, question, what do Hetlers think that, because they see right through me, they see right through me, they see right through, can you see right through me? They see, like, what do they understand that she is not like her pop star persona? Do they understand that like the version of Taylor Swift who is dating Travis Kelce is not who Taylor Swift actually is? And if they do think that those two are the same people, what do they see right? I see right through. You get it. Anyway, The Archer, oh my God, it's getting 5 out of 5 boots. And then we have I Think He Knows. I Think He Knows is an up-tempo song on which Swift describes her attraction to Joe Alwyn, her boyfriend, as of the track's release. Yeah, definitely. I think he knows his hands around a cold glass make me want to know that body like it's mine. So I don't think that we're talking about like a straight up and down glass. Like I just simply don't really think that's, I think we're talking about a curved glass, maybe a glass that has like a bit of an hourglass, maybe reminiscent of a woman's figure. I don't know. I'm just spitballing. I really don't think that the glass is shaped like the man's bot. I don't. He's got that boyish look that I like in a man. So as a lesbian who came out at age 30, I liked that boyish look in a man because I liked men to look as much like women as possible. And yeah, it's giving gay. This is just such a fun song. The chorus isn't explicitly gay. I will allow straight people to use this song, I guess, but it's just such a little bop. But tell me, what man has a lyrical smile, indigo eyes? It's giving sort of like when women are like, my boyfriend is golden retriever. He's the color hunter green. He's the sound of the wind in the trees. And if you asked her boyfriend what she is, he would be like, I don't know. She's Karen. He doesn't even know the color indigo. Like, I actually do believe that a straight woman would write this song about her boyfriend who hates her, but Taylor Swift specifically is writing about a woman. She's writing most likely about Karlie Kloss. So where are we going to go? I whisper in the dark. Where are we going to go? Once again, whispering in the dark, similar to cutting the headlights in Cruel Summer. They have to move around in secret because they're not supposed to be together. Taylor Swift and Joe Alwyn were paparazzi'd all the time. They called the paparazzi on themselves. That is not the relationship that she is hiding. Thank you. Anyway, song is perfect, cute, perfect, 5 out of 5 boots. And then we move on to Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, which is a very gay song, specifically for the reason that Taylor says, it's you and me, there's nothing like this, Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince. It's you, Miss Americana, and me, the Heartbreak Prince. Grammatically, and Taylor is really big on grammar. So she's the Heartbreak Prince. The whole song is about her as the Heartbreak Prince and her girl as Miss Americana. It's you and me, that's my whole world. They whisper in the hallways she's a bad, bad girl. Why would she just like be a bad girl if she was dating the prom king or whatever? She's a bad girl because she's dating a woman secretly. She's having a secret lesbian affair. That's why they're calling her a bad girl. Taylor Swift does not give bad girl. If Blondie was out there dating other Blondie, the guy version, no one would be, oh, she's bad. Oh no, she's showing us. I just don't think that makes any sense literally at all. We're so sad we paint the town blue, voted most likely to run away with you. Why would they have to run away if their relationship was accepted by the general public? Also, what I think really frustrates Taylor, and this is me just being very parasocial, is she says in her music over and over and over, like how much men are terrible. She says in Blank Space, boys only want love if it's torture. And here she says, boys will be boys, then where are the wise men? Darling, I'm scared. She's literally saying like every single guy has this boys will be boys mentality or can get away with any, like where are they? Where are the wise men? And why would Taylor, who is wise, date a man who isn't wise? And if she knew where the wise man was because she had a boyfriend, then why would she be asking this question? And then at the end of the bridge, she says, and I'll never let you go because I know this is a fight that someday we're going to win. And she's telling us someday we're going to win this fight. Someday I will be able to come out and I will be able to be with my lover, allegedly Karlie Kloss. And then in the outro, she says it again, like multiple times. They whisper in the hallway, she's a bad, bad girl. She's a bad, bad girl. 7 out of 5 boots. Gay as shit. Song 8, Paper Rings. The concept of paper rings is gay. The concept of trying to legitimize your relationship with a ring, with a engagement ring, a symbol of marriage and commitment in a time where gay marriage, you know, now it's being threatened. Trump was president at that time too. But even so, like, the institution of marriage was not really made for gay people. It's something that we've adopted because our relationships need that legitimacy, and it needs to be recognized by the law so that we have certain rights that come with marriage. But it also is an archaic institution. So she's saying, I love shiny things, but I'd marry you with paper rings. Like, even if we're not allowed to get legally married in a church or whatever, we can still be symbolically married by making rings out of something that is seemingly worthless but means a lot to us because we give it meaning. This is simply just another perfect bop. Paper Rings is so underrated. Paper Rings and I Think He Knows are two of the best songs on Lover, hands down. And also, I'm just thinking about I Want Your Dreary Mondays, Wrap Your Arms Around Me, and then thinking about 4 albums later in the Tortured Poets Department when she says, all my mornings are Mondays stuck in an endless February. Like, she wanted those dreary Mondays, but now she's spending them alone. And it makes me very sad. Anyway, perfect little song, 6 out of 5 boots. Also, I just don't really understand how anyone could think that this album isn't gay. Like, there's the Genius page that I'm looking at the lyrics on is covered in rainbows. It's got screenshots from her lyric videos that are covered in rainbows. What else do these people think rainbows means? That literally means gay. Hello? Moving on to gay, Cornelia Street. Who lived in Cornelia Street with Taylor Swift? It was not Joe Alwyn, spoiler alert. It was Karlie Kloss. I don't know if you had time to guess, but why are 2 really rich and famous people living together as roommates when Karlie has her own apartment in the West Village? It's giving Travis Kelce living with Ross Travis in Florida with a private chef. Like, why can't they have their own residences? They're both rich. Because they're gay. This whole song is gay. Like, if you're gay, you'll get it. But when she says, and baby, I get mystified by how the city screams your name, do you ever think that maybe that's because there were billboards of Karlie Kloss all around New York City? Because Joe, I don't even think that Joe ever really lived in New York. Like, he's the London boy. Why would New York scream the name Joe Alwyn? At who? Someone who's very delusional. And Taylor is delusional sometimes, but no, she's obviously talking about Karlie. I also like the lyrical parallel. I turned around before I hit the tunnel, sat on the roof, you and I, to King of My Heart, up on the roof with a schoolgirl crush, drinking beer out of plastic cups, because King of My Heart is about Karlie. And so is this song. They're both about her. Yay. I love the line barefoot in the kitchen because of this photo from when Karlie and Taylor were in Big Sur in a cabin with one bed. Just girly things. Anyway, Cornelia Street, 7 out of 5 boots. Death by a Thousand Cuts, theoretically written about the Netflix movie Someone Great, which is a wonderful movie that I simply cannot watch. I think that, like many things that Taylor says are fictional or inspired by X or Y media, it is also autobiographical. It's honestly incredibly cruel to put this song right after Cornelia Street, because Cornelia Street says, streetlights in an arrowhead leading us home. And then this song says, I asked the traffic lights if it'll be all right. They say, I don't know. Like, so fast. Whiplash. How dare she? Paper cut stings from our paper thin plans. Connection to paper rings. But anyway, there's nothing in here that's explicitly gay, but the song is gay, so 5 out of 5 boots. And then we have London Boy, which we know was a late addition to the album, which we know was added after the failed coming out, because it samples Cautious Clay's song Cold War, which is a very interesting thing to put in a upbeat love song. But Cautious Clay said that Taylor's team reached out like very shortly before the album came out and asked if they could sample it. So clearly it was a song that they put together at the last minute. Thank you, Cautious Clay, for saying that in an interview and giving us all of this good information. Also, I didn't know until right now that the intro, We Can Go Driving In on My Scooter, was done by Idris Elba and James Corden. So, this is like a straight-coded song. It's supposed to be a straight-coded song. It's supposed to help cover up for all of Taylor's loudness and the events leading up to the failed coming out attempt so that she could go back into the closet where she has been for a very long time. But it's not about, like, Taylor doesn't know how to write a love song about a man. There's nothing about him in here. It's just like, he takes me to all these places. His roommates watch rugby. He went to uni. We're going to Brixton. And it's just like, cool, but is there anything about him or your relationship? No, there's not, because it's not real. And you don't know how to write nice things about a man. And that's really relatable. So yeah, all straight coding aside, the way she speaks about the man being incredibly unromantic still makes it gay. 2 out of 5 boots. I am not going to talk about the song Soon You'll Get Better, because that is about her mom's cancer treatment and is not intended to be gay. But talking about Whiplash, we go straight from Soon You'll Get Better into False God, one of the gayest songs ever written. Let's talk about it. First of all, false God, finding religion in your partner, worshiping your partner's body instead of some arbitrary patriarchal religious figure who's normally male-coded, is gay. But it kicks off real strong. We were crazy to think that this could work. Remember how I said I'd die for you? Like, she's not going to say that she's going to die for a man. Trust me. Lesbians will die for each other. But she would not say that she would die for a man. And Taylor says, and I can't talk to you when you're like this, staring out the window like I'm not your favorite town. I'm New York City. I still do it for you, babe. And in the next pre-chorus, she says, and you can't talk to me when I'm like this, daring you to leave me just so I can try and scare you. You're the West Village. This is another, this city screams your name. Joe Alwyn is not the West Village. Are you kidding me? Joe Alwyn is a London boy. Karlie Kloss literally lived in the West Village. It's so obvious and it's so loud. And I just don't really, like, people really are able to hear what they want. And Gaylor/Hetler is a very, very clear example of this. And I hope that there are books written about it. I'm just imagining some, like, thin-lipped man with lips so small they're like barely even visible, and Taylor going, religion's in your lips. Is this the same man whose lips are so scarlet that they were maroon? I don't know what to tell you about that one. We'd still worship this love, even if it's a false god, still worship this. 8 out of 5 boots. That's the highest score so far, I believe, and it deserves it. Oh boy, we've got You Need to Calm Down, immediately blowing the boots scale out of the water. This whole song is so gay. The music video is incredibly gay. The music video only has gay people in it, including Ryan Reynolds, and I said what I said. Taylor makes herself the mayor of Gay Town. It's a whole song about how there's trolls on the internet who say that gay people are bad and they need to calm down because gay people aren't bothering anyone. Like, can you just not step on my gown? You need to calm down. In verse 2, she says, why are you mad when you could be glad? But glad is spelled out GLAAD, like the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, the GLAAD organization. This is a clear example of how Taylor uses sunshine and light in her works. Sunshine on the street at the parade, but you would rather be in the dark ages. Sunshine is living authentically. It's authentic self-expression. It's being gay and being out. The dark age and darkness and gray and black and white and lack of color is closeting. And then she says, because shade never made anybody less gay. And once again, she clarified in Paris, and not the kind that's thrown. I mean, the kind under where a tree has grown. Shade to her is the comforting hiddenness from the sun because of closeting. But she's saying, even though I'm closeted, it doesn't make me any less gay. Like, can you just not step on his gown? You need to calm down. Anyway, God, this song is so incredibly gay. Gay. I'm going to give it 13 out of 5 boots. The next song is Afterglow, which is gay because I know it's about a woman, but there is nothing in the song that makes it explicitly gay, at least for my reading of it. If you have a different interpretation, please let me know. So I'm going to give her 2 out of 5 boots. But we're not staying down for long. She needed a little bit of a palate cleanser after You Need to Calm Down to make everyone be like, okay, yeah, that was gay. What's next? Oh yeah, this is plausibly about a man. What have we got after that? Oh, track 16. Me is gay. Me should have been the end. First of all, me out now should have been the end. That should have been enough for people. But people have compet, people are homophobic, people are internalized homophobic and don't know it. And yeah, they just ignored all the rainbows. They ignored gay pride makes me me. They ignored everything. They ignored it all. But doesn't make the song any less gay. And she is just quite literally like saying, this is me, like a rainbow with all of the colors. I promise that you'll never find another like me. What else do people think like a rainbow with all of the colors means? Please, someone tell me. I'm waiting. All the articles during this time period, by the way, were like, Taylor Swift steps out in the tie-dye trend. And it's like her wearing a dress that's literally a rainbow. That's not the tie-dye trend, babe. That's gay. Like, literally. But one of these things is not like the others, like a rainbow with all of the colors. Baby doll, when it comes to a lover, I promise that you'll never find another like me. Hee hee. And also, Swifties bullied her so badly after this song came out that she removed the part before the bridge where she says, hey kids, spelling is fun, which was a reference to LGBTQIA. I just cannot deal. And like full disclosure, I was not a gayler at this time. I didn't bully her, but I was also like, oh, this is a little bit corny. Let women be corny, especially lesbians. We've all learned a big lesson since the year 2019. I hope. And then in the second pre-chorus, she goes, because one of these things is not like the others, living in winter, I am your summer. Very similar thing to darkness and daylight. Winter, cold, gray. All my mornings are Monday stuck in an endless February. And then summer is bright and there's sunshine on the street at the parade. And June is Pride Month and also the summer solstice. Pretty obvious what they're saying here. Also, can we talk about how Karlie Kloss is literally in this music video? Like, this is literally Karlie made to look like a man through CGI or whatever. Don't even argue with me. It is Karlie Kloss. I've put like a billion pictures of her there and it's the same woman. Also, the line, and you can't spell awesome without me, is just gay. And that's great. And I love that. You're the only one of you, and baby, that's the fun of you. And that's why me gets 10 out of 5 boots. We are wrapping up the next 2 songs, the final 2 songs in the main edition of Lover. It's Nice to Have a Friend, one of the gayest songs imaginable. Like, I just want you to think. Taylor Swift comes from Pennsylvania. She comes from a pretty conservative family. When she says, school bell rings, walk me home, sidewalk chalk covered in snow, lost my gloves, you give me one, want to hang out, yeah, sounds like fun, video games, you pass me a note, sleeping in tents, it's nice to have a friend. Do you think, given the information that you know about the context of her upbringing, do you think that friend was a boy? Do you think that she was sleeping in tents? Do you think that Scott Swift let Taylor Swift sleep in tents with a boy as a child? No. She's talking about a girl. And it's obvious. Light pink sky up on the roof, like she's giving us gay colors. Something gave you the nerve to touch my hand. It's nice to have a friend. Also, like, why would she be calling this person a friend if they were a guy? It's like, why does she keep saying, I don't want you like a best friend. You're my friend. It's nice to have a friend, blah, blah, blah. We get it. You're gay. Something gave you the nerve to touch my hand. That's like when you're a little lesbian, when you're a wee leser, and you're like, are we friends? Are we more? I don't know. And you finally get up the nerve to touch their hand and see what happens. Gay. And then they get married. Her childhood best friend that she slept in tents with, they grow up and they get married. This is a lesbian love story. 10 out of 5 boots. And then the final song on Lover, I am going to do one more song because we do have a bonus track, but Daylight. Originally the title of this whole album, I will admit that I once attributed the song Daylight to a man, and boy, do I regret it. But this song is really gay. First of all, the concept of daylight. In Taylor's storytelling and songwriting, we know light is about being out. Stepping into the daylight is about coming out from where you're hidden in the shade, closeted, and being yourself and showing yourself for the gay, proud person that you are. And she says, I've been sleeping so long in a 20-year dark night, and now I see daylight. I only see daylight. I have actually been toying around with the idea that this song is not about a 20-year dark night that ends in 2019. I think it's about a 20-year dark night that ends either this year or next year, because 20 years from when Taylor released this album would be when she was 9 years old. And I mean, there could have been a precipitating event at that age, but certainly not one that we know about. But I personally think it would make more sense for the 20-year dark night to end when she comes out. And I think that she'll probably release Debut in October or the fall in general of next year, because it'll be the 20-year anniversary of when Debut came out in October 2006. So I think the 20-year dark night has been all the time that she spent bearding and closeting and using he, him pronouns and hiding who the songs were actually about. She'll be able to re-release Debut using she, her pronouns. Debut is a really gay album. We're going to cover it during Pride Month. But she's been sleeping so long in that 20-year dark night of pretending to be someone she's not. And now I see daylight. I only see daylight. I only see the real me. I don't have to pretend to be someone I'm not anymore. I once believed love would be black and white, but it's golden. I once believed that love would be the stories that I was told, the fairy tales that we're all fed as women, as children. When's the last time you heard a man say that he wants a fairy tale ending? Yeah, it's propaganda. It's propaganda to keep women down and to make women think that they need a man to complete them. Men don't get the same propaganda. Really bullshit. I've tried to tell this to every woman I ever see, and some of them just aren't ready for it yet, which is upsetting. But they'll get there. Everyone is going to get there in their own time. Everyone is on their own journey, and that's okay. But it's golden. Taylor associates Carly with goldenness. She associates her with the sun based on their best friend's interview. That's just one of the gayest things I've ever seen in my whole life. Carly is golden. Love is golden. And then she says, and I can still see it all in my head, back and forth from New York, sneaking in your bed. Whose bed is in New York? Not Joe's. I once believed love would be burnin' red. Since this is color, I think this is talking about a sapphic relationship that she had maybe with Diana Agron, but around the Red era when she sings all of these, I knew you were trouble when you walked in, treacherous, obviously the song Red, like every single song that's about a relationship that is really toxic. That's what Burning Red is in my mind, but it's golden. It's actually peaceful. It's like warm sunlight. It's the love that she has / had / who knows what's going on with those two with Carly. And then in the outro, she says, you got to step into the daylight and let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. And I think she's talking to herself. She's just got to step into the daylight and let it go. And let's hope that she steps into the daylight this summer. Maybe even this Pride Month. Wouldn't that be exciting? And then she says, I want to be defined by the things that I love, not the things I hate, not the things I'm afraid of, or the things that haunt me in the middle of the night. I just think that you are what you love. And it's interesting because she released the album Midnights 3 albums after this, which is an album of things that haunt her in the middle of the night. But Midnights is all about her plan to get back to a place where she can step into the daylight. And so she had to face the things that haunt her in the middle of the night. She had to look at her shadow side. She had to, instead of continuing to do avoidance and trying to avoid discomfort and trying to avoid these things that she doesn't like, she had to face them head on and realize that they're not as scary as she had made them out to be, so that she could step into the daylight and let it go. Daylight, 13 out of 5 boots. And then we have the bonus track, All of the Girls You Loved Before, which was released on the first day of the Eras Tour on March 17th, 2023, as a bonus track to Lover. And I do actually think that there is a Lover vault, because in Guilty as Sin, she says, I keep these longings locked in lowercase inside a vault. Someone told me. And then if you listen closely, there's an ad lib at the same time she says me, it goes, vault? A vault for me. All the gay songs that were removed from Lover because she wasn't able to come out. All the original versions of the songs on Lover that were de-gayified. Makes you think, what is she hiding? And basically this song is saying, I'm really grateful for all of the girls that you loved before me because they brought you to me and they made you who you are. She says, your mother brought you up loyal and kind. Teenage love taught you there's good and goodbye. Every woman that you know brought you here. I want to teach you how forever feels. On the surface, this could be about a man. Sure, it could be all of the women that this man has dated before, but I don't know. Something about it smells a little gay to me. And it's the last song I'm going to cover, so I'm just going to go ahead and give it 5 out of 5 boots. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. It has been lovely talking to you about the Lover album. Such a good album, such a gay album. But as we're going to cover in the series, every single one of this woman's albums is pretty gay. Anyway, I love you very much, and I will talk to you soon. As I mentioned at the beginning, you can book an astrology reading with me on my website, popstrologypod.com, and you can follow me on Instagram or TikTok at popstrologypod, and you can always shoot me an email if you so desire to popstrology@proton.me. All of this information is in the description. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, girls. Happy Pride.